Hello everybody, my name is Novi and welcome back to the channel. 2023 was an exciting year in wrestling. It was filled to the brim with stories no matter what promotion you tune into. It felt like every week and damn near every day there was something massive, something absolutely major happening in wrestling, and in 2024 it looks like it could get even more exciting. So today I want to cover just that and talk about the things I'm most excited for when it comes to wrestling in 2024. Before we do get started, leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel for videos every single Saturday, just talking graps. One of the most interesting things in wrestling is wrestlers switching over to different promotions, and it feels like in 2024 there might be a lot of switching. So many wrestlers from so many companies around the world have contracts that have either already expired, like Andrade or Deonna Purrazzo, or contracts that will expire later into the year, like Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre, and Kazuchika Okada. That's without mentioning people like Dolph Ziggler, who just showed up in New Japan, or Mustafa Ali, who decided to go on an independent world tour following their releases. And even still, that's without mentioning the biggest free agent in all of wrestling, Mercedes Moné, who is still the most unpredictable person in the world. This kind of unpredictable movement in the world of wrestling is almost always a good thing because 1, the wrestlers can get a fresh start somewhere new, 2, they get paid, and 3, we get to watch the wrestlers that we enjoy the most compete in our favorite promotions. When it comes to 1, I think it's best to look at an example like Swerve, who could have been a top guy in WWE, but was much more suited to AEW's fast and loose style of presentation, and now looks like a guaranteed future world champion. And we can even talk about going the other way. I mean, take for example Cody Rhodes, who feels like the most natural fit in WWE in the world because of the kind of character he tries to present. In those 2 examples, and countless others like it, it's given these wrestlers a new chance to present themselves in a more free way, maybe even reach their fullest potential, just like Swerve. Talking about 2, I love to see wrestlers get paid wherever they go. It doesn't really matter to me, because people in this industry are underpaid, and it's not much more complex than that. And 3, we get to enjoy wrestlers working in our favorite promotions. I think a lot of people won't want to admit this, but I'm very willing to. I know that when Bryan Danielson came to AEW, I was ecstatic because it meant I'd finally get to watch one of my favorite wrestlers of all time compete in the promotion that I watch. Free agent craziness doesn't just benefit the wrestlers in most cases, it's also so fun to watch as a fan because of everything that comes with it. The unpredictability of it all and all the potential we can see in these new debuts and what may happen when they come over, I mean, that's what makes it all just an absolute joy to watch. I mean, even if it is a little crazy. It's why I'm super excited for what this year may mean for free agents because there's just so many of them, and that leads to so much potential that I'm really hyped to see. The women's division in AEW has long been known as an absolute mess, and that's mostly due to the booking. We all know, but TK hasn't cared about this division in a very long time, and that was only made clear by how he booked it in 2023. But in December of last year, the very last month of the year, TK started to show a little bit more care and attention to building up characters and stories in the division. He started to give Toni Storm more promo time. He let Julia Hart build up her feud with Abaddon on TV, which are very simple things, I am aware of that, but they were very good signs that the division might be trending in the right direction going into the next year. Then, on the first Dynamite of that new year, Mariah May gets time in her debut match. She gets to work someone who actually fits her style and not just Anna Jay. Then afterwards, she even cuts a live in-ring promo, which I wasn't sure if TK knew women knew how to do that. TK had been mentioning being very active in free agency this year when it comes to the women's division, and in that very same segment, Deonna Purrazzo debuts. And that felt like a statement of sorts, just, taking into account his comments beforehand. I know that it's early, and I know we can't be certain that this will continue throughout the entire year, but for right now, things have been seemingly trending in a much better direction for the women. On top of that, you add in the rumors that he might have paid Mercedes Moné the very well-deserved bag she asked for, and honestly, my hope grows even stronger. The booking of the women has been everyone's biggest complaint since AEW first started, and now it finally seems like they're addressing it, not just through speak, they're addressing it through action. I'm really excited to see what all of these signs could mean long term because they all spell very good things. Ultimately, I don't want to have to doom and gloom about this division anymore, so please, just keep the good times rolling, TK. I mean, let's just give the women what they've always deserved, which is, the same kind of booking as the men. My first ever introduction to New Japan was through the G1 this year. What better way to introduce myself to a brand new promotion than to watch its very classic round robin tournament filled with 32 of their best competitors. Then I proceeded to watch all the matches that the G1 this year had to offer, and I reviewed every single one of them here on YouTube. For roughly 3 to 4 weeks, I was totally consumed with this tournament, which was kind of insane, just remembering it all back, but nothing that I regret even a little bit. I will say though, by the 4th or 5th Evil match, I can't lie, I was starting to question my choices a little bit, so I had to have that something that kept me going, that kept my mental strong. That something was the A block, which was mostly made up of prominent young talent in New Japan, specifically Shota Umino, Yota Tsuji, Gabe Kidd, and Kaito Kiyomiya, who is from Noah, I know, but that man is jumping over, so I'm still counting him. Their matches were always the ones to watch for me because they just had this certain level of heart to them. If you watched all those G1 reviews, which I doubt many of you have because they were kind of like the precursor to this channel, but if you did, you'll know that I love young guy prove-it matches, and this block was pretty much solely made up of those. Putting two young guys together always feels like this test, and here in the G1 it felt like it was a test of their wrestling, but also, even if it is a little bit silly, a test of their aura. And I feel like for the majority of these guys, they actually passed because it always felt huge whenever they got in that ring. It always felt huge when they were matching up against one another. It was pretty much all hits, no misses when it comes to those matchups, and it really got me super invested in what the future means for all these guys. I think they all have the potential to be top talent in New Japan for many years to come, but when it comes to Tsuji and Shota specifically, those guys are main event level right now, and we learned that in the G1. It isn't just them, I already mentioned two guys, but New Japan is chock full of just so many young talents who are ready to grow and take that step. Coughlin, Orimura, Wado, Fujita, Drilla, Connors, like the list could go on, but I think you get the point. With a lot of the older talent slowing down and a lot of the top guys leaving like Ospreay, 2024 will be an exciting year to watch all of these guys just to see if they take that next step into the main event like I think a lot of people think they will. At least I know for a fact that Shota deserves to be in that Wrestle Kingdom main event next year, and that's not because I'm biased, no. Similar to a lot of what I just mentioned, the rise of young talent in AEW will also be extremely exciting to watch in 2024. We just mentioned all the names in New Japan that are coming up right now, but AEW has just as many with Daniel Garcia, Dante Martin, Konosuke Takeshita, Kyle Fletcher, Wheeler Yuta, and just like the last time, I could go on, but I do think you get the point. I mentioned Shota and Tsuji specifically as two guys who are really elevating themselves to that next level, and from this list, I think I gotta specifically mention Daniel Garcia. The Continental Classic did absolute wonders for him and his character because it really showed that he belongs in there with the absolute best of them. Just take the All-Star tag at World's End. That man did not look out of place at all, and I think that's a really telling sign. It's not just men that are doing this in AEW, it's also the women with people like Julia Hart, Billy Starks, Sky Blue, Willow Nightingale, Mariah May. You get it, on, duh, but they're all rising up. It feels like an absolutely huge year for young talent in New Japan and AEW, and I'm so excited to see how it plays out because, like any other wrestling fan, I love seeing young guys go out there and just do their thing. Managing all these young guys and getting them to their potential will always be the goal, and I think that both companies are very well aware of that, so that's why I think 2024 will be a big year, and that's why I'm so excited to see what's to come for young talent. Another thing I'm excited to see in 2024, we're actually going to talk about the WWE, which I don't do very often on this channel, but I'm excited to see if Cody Rhodes actually finishes the story. Will The Rock, Big Dwayne, steal the spot out from under him? Will the Tribal Chief say he ain't laying down for anybody? Will he actually win the belt from Roman? I'd take any of these options. Either Cody wins the title at Mania and finishes the story, which should have happened last year, or he doesn't, and it's the funniest thing in the world. So either way, I think it's a win-win. 2023 Bryan Danielson has had me hooked like no other wrestler before. I get so excited for literally all of his matches, and when they do happen, I get so stupidly locked in, I'm not even gonna lie, I am hyper-focused. Wrestle Kingdom 18 earlier this week, I was falling asleep all night, I'm not gonna lie. I was tired, it was late, all that sort of stuff. But you know who I was awake for? The American Dragon. My love for Dragon has gone so far as to start the Dragon Project, which is a series where I watch every single one of Dragon's matches and review the noteworthy ones on @itsnovi on Twitter. Keep in mind, that's 450 plus matches on a spreadsheet, but I just love his work. I love how uniquely special every single one of his matches are. He could be wrestling the biggest shitter on the AEW roster, and I'd probably still get excited for it, because I feel like Dragon could have a 4-star match with a bag of rocks. Knowing 2024 is his final year as a full-time wrestler, it gets me really excited to see what he may cook up just as a final send-off, even if the final send-off part does make me sad. I'm hoping for some absolutely huge programs on AEW TV against guys like Swerve, or maybe even the world champ Samoa Joe. I want some outside matches like Zack Sabre Jr. I want him to wrestle Shingo Takagi again. I want all of it. I have a feeling that this last full-time year is going to be special, and I'm just so excited to see what's in store for the American Dragon. The AEW World Championship was held by MJF for the entirety of 2023 pretty much, and when it got down to the end, I was just so over it. The Devil stuff and everything that has come with it over the last few months was just too much for me, and it felt like it was just weighing down what should be the top prize. So when Big Sam Joe took the belt at World's End, I was ecstatic. Then this absolute beast goes to the media scrum and cuts this amazing promo.
Oh, who's your favorite? Go ahead, shout out their name. I'll whip their ass. Like this, like y'all think that this is gonna be like, oh, I want this guy, I want that guy. I'll take them all. You know, a lot of loud mouths, a lot of dudes talking a lot of stuff. You know, hey, y'all can do that stuff on Twitter. Come, bring that shit to my face, man. See what happens. You know, that's the funny part. Everybody's starting fights around here, but nobody ever start fight with me. You know, come fight me.
That just gives me the feeling. It gives me the feeling that this is going to be an absolutely incredible title reign that I think I'm going to enjoy very much. I'm hoping it's a short little run just until Revolution, and they give him some absolutely banger TV title defenses that are based on simply going after the world title, no outside shit. Because just like that, I promise you, within a month of it just being that, the title could very easily be back to all of its former glory. And then looking after the fact, maybe Swerve wins at Revolution. Maybe Ospreay takes the belt at All In at Wembley Stadium. I mean, this title just has so much potential for where it can go, just away from the MJF verse. And that kind of potential, that kind of variety, that kind of unpredictability, similar to the free agency, is what gets me so excited for the AEW World title in 2024. Speaking of Revolution, I think I gotta throw this in there because when I think of what I'm personally most excited for in wrestling in 2024, I immediately think of Revolution. Not just because the pay-per-view is probably gonna be great, because I'm gonna be there. Going to an AEW pay-per-view was a legitimate dream for me, and now I get that chance, plus I get the added bonus of seeing Sting's final match. That's about as perfect as it can get. But that's going to do it for today's video. Leave a like on this one, subscribe to the channel for videos every Saturday, and comment down below what you're excited for in the world of wrestling in 2024. I know some people might say that this video is a bit similar to the one I did last week, but I feel like the one last week was just a little bit more negative than I wanted it to be, so I wanted to bring into the new year with just some nice positivity, and I think this has been just that. No matter all the bullshit that goes on, wrestling is still very good, it's in a very good place, and it's extremely exciting, so I wanted to share what things I was most excited for, and I hope you guys share some down below with me. Thank you guys so much for watching and supporting the channel. It's been Novi. Much love to you all. Peace.